Well, hello, Doomers and friends. It's November 6th, 2024. It is absolutely not an over-the-top day here in the collapse of everything. In fact, it's quite dreadful, scary, horrifying, that you should never underestimate large masses of stupid people, as George Carlin would say. And this is going to be dramatic. This is going to be a enticing video to grip you by the ears and tell you that we are fucked. 100% clarification has been made on that. If there was any sliver of light that things might turn around, we would change course, reduce emissions, cooperate with world powers, urge ourselves in a better direction as a species, that has been nullified. We are fucking toast. I repeat, it's over. If you take a look at the Electoral College map, you'll see that we're still in an unarmed civil war, with it clearly being divided between the coastal states and the center part of the country. With a few exceptions, we are not a united society. We are a crumbling empire, oozing with debt, with no plans to get out. Things will get worse. Buckle up, grab the popcorn, enjoy the ride. If you couldn't handle 2016 to 2020, which was atrocious in its own right, things are about to get revved up because we have multiple threats on the horizon from other countries which could exacerbate a dementia-riddled sociopath, narcissistic asshole to make big moves and upend our lives. It's going to get worse. Not that she was any better or that she was any less a fascist. She was just painted in a better light. He is openly telling us who he is and will be. What can you expect on a planet already enduring an October that was 1.63 degrees Celsius higher than pre-industrial averages, that has 2 billion people facing water scarcity, a nationwide drought, existential extreme weather events, wiping out cities and towns around the world, including Valencia, Spain, which endured over 18 inches of rain in 8 hours. It's 70 degrees here in upstate New York in November. It'll probably be warm on Christmas Day. But none of that matters in a post-truth world where we deny abject reality, facts, and data based on evidence and the scientific method, which we invented to get ourselves out of the barbaric medieval age that we're in. Maybe we should go back to that and live in Hammurabi's code, just saying. We're toast. On this planet, which we are destroying in every single way, we have just revved up the energy, okay? He's not going to save us. We're going to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. We're going to retract the EPA, or dismember them, I guess, defund the educational board, ban books, deport migrants. The list goes on. I don't need to repeat to you his agenda or Project 2025. There are a multitude of videos on that. I'm just reinstating to you the fact, and I mean you, all of you who press the like button. You can move your thumb and do that. I mean Paul Beckwith, Dr. Guy McPherson, Dr. Peter Carter, Collapse Chronicles, Environmental Coffee House, all you kooky boomer doomers. We're fucked. It's over. Say goodbye to your grandkids if you have any. This is our last relatively stable decade on Earth, and that's my response to people after the results of hearing about what just happened, what just unfolded, where stupidity took over. Say goodbye to food on the grocery store shelves, cheap electronics, one-day shipping, money, energy, the grid. All of that is going bye-bye. Night-night. This is our last decade, and I doubt we'll even have an election in 2028. Given the world events that might unfold until then, the doomsday clock is being updated next week, which I should have a report on. I don't see us holding on. I see this being it. No more elections. We don't come back from this. Too much damage has already been done. Okay? Too much has been said about killing journalists, his enemies from within. Take that in for a second. We just re-elected the worst president in U.S. history, who's the oldest, who's a 34-count convicted felon. Mind you, people make mistakes. Okay, but it was clear he intended to do this, all right, and cover up his payments. We all know he's guilty. Who has the nuclear codes in the White House? It's idiocracy. It is like a movie. We're living through it. I don't know what I expected, and I don't mean to be too dramatic, but it's fitting. We're fucked. It's over. We're not reducing greenhouse gas emissions. We're not reuniting with world powers. We aren't solving the world wars. Things will get worse. Your pocketbook will be drained more. Billionaires will get richer. Nothing will get done. The National Guard coming into cities won't solve anything. It'll get worse. We'll be living through another 4-year nightmare. And I'm sorry if you had kids. I'm sorry if you thought it was a decent idea to rear children, because you will be devastated when you start to use when you try to use 1 ounce of brain matter to understand what a 3.1 degrees Celsius world, which is, last we heard, where we're headed, which is a low ball, because now we just learned we're headed for a 5 or 6, 7, 10, who knows, maybe 12. As my friend said, it's like the business of America wanted this. People wanted a nickel now so they can pay a dime later, because you saw the stock market, it went up. Fresh highs for Bitcoin, stocks low on the green energy, obviously, because he wants to drill, baby, drill. Dismember the EPA. Create more pollution, which Elon is apparently against. But he'd be fucked, because then his whole operation would be shut down. Living in the insane nightmare world. We made it, guys. Just like a movie. The collapse of the American empire. I'm not being dramatic. This is reality. The mechanism by which people tell me it's the sun. That's how we know it warms us up. Yeah, real critical thinking there. Obviously, that's gone. Libertarian. It's like saying an eraser does the erasing of charcoal off paper. Just the eraser. It doesn't have to actually touch it. It just exists, and then the writing on the paper is gone. That's the logic that I hear from people. As if you don't have to actually push it into it and physically... Are you a 12-year-old? Like, how do I have to explain this shit to you? More greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which Trump will promote, as Biden did before. There was no help and salvation for us already, but now it's going to get worse. I repeat, accumulates in the atmosphere, generates more stored energy in the system, including the oceans, land, and cryosphere, and thus warms our planet up, thus resulting in an unstable climate, which is not suitable for growing crops, feeding billions, providing our luxurious lifestyle, which is soon going to be completely unattainable, as if it already wasn't. It's hard to even be homeless now. It's too expensive to live as a basic person. Minimum wage has not kept up, and it certainly will not increase under his leadership, and the House and Senate, which is more grease on the wheels. Okay, so am I beating a dead horse here? Maybe. I'm getting the point across that we royally fucked up, and our extinction as a species is all but completely certain. As I repeat before, the incoming long-wave radiation gets stored in the system and is not reflected back out into space as it normally is because of, greenhouse gases, everything. Sulfur hexafluoride, methane rising in unstoppable hothouse Earth fashion, as indicated by the data, which is not paid for by corporate interests, but instead the government, our tax dollars, along with every other scientist from every agency on the planet, is gathering data that confirms that we are the cause of warming the planet. Okay, I don't need to talk to you like this. I'm just repeating for any new people here, in case you haven't caught the memo, is that we're walking off the cliff. I'm sure Antonio Guterres of the UN and Beyonce, Eminem, Obama, I'm sure they're smoking a big fat joint right now, thinking, what on earth was America thinking? The same thing we always were. Racist, xenophobic, hatred-filled thoughts, and a disillusioned, self-centered, narcissistic, mentally ill society. Go ahead, call around, ask your friends to see if they had anybody that called on them lately, or invited them to Thanksgiving dinner, or anything like that. Social events, communal. No. We are divided, distracted, and voided of critical thought, in debt, and ready for violence. This was our last election. Let me say that. Because we aren't coming back from this. Too much was said on both sides that I do not see another candidate coming along and uniting us after the nightmare that we may or may not survive over the next 4 years. Again, I implore you to look at this map of United States, of the Electoral College, and clearly see the blue states near the coastal areas and the red states in the center. We're in an unarmed civil war conflict. For the original 13 colonies, the Electoral College might have worked. It was small, connected enough, people still had community, were in charge of their local politics because they were in touch with each other. But along the way, when we put money into politics and we grossly exacerbated the inequality, we set ourselves up for a dystopian nightmare, which we're already living through, but will get worse. I should repeat that. I didn't vote. I don't believe in the Electoral College working in the system that we have now. I do not have faith in enough people in this society to exercise critical thinking based on my interactions with thousands of people regarding the most basic and elementary of physical responses to our environment, including global warming, that I had any faith in people anymore to make the right call. I'm just still surprised that we would do it so quickly and without hesitation, that millions of clueless fucking morons would walk into a booth and circle his name, sacrificing their future and everything that they know and love for a nickel now to pay a dime later. So, to all the media personalities, Al Sharpton and Roger Waters, Pink Floyd, just all these people speaking at Robert De Niro, I'm sure is just smoking a big fat cigar right now. What in the actual fuck? The war is over. This was our last decade to tackle the climate crisis, and we just squashed it. Okay? As there wasn't any hope before, we were already in predicament. We were not reversing commercial industrialization, large-scale shipping containers, growing food. Our whole process of maintaining and running civilization in its current form with this energy source that we've relied on for so long, there was no hope to reverse course before, but now we just nailed the coffin. It's over. So when people ask me, how's it going? I'll most likely respond with trying to enjoy our last decade of relative stability on planet Earth. Why you say that? Because I use critical thinking and I studied the data, the evidence produced from scholars in their field who studied this over their entire lifetimes, who give actual data and came to the conclusion that we're beyond hopeless. Look up "done" in the dictionary and you'll find our picture. We're done. What do you even say? We're done.